another episode of Thrive Talks, and we have Sharmada Venkat here with us today. We're just going to continue the conversation from our previous two episodes. And today we're going to talk about injury, recovery, and how that triggers a loss of control for our athletes and even recreational athletes for that matter. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So when an athlete is injured, what kind of patterns emerge in terms of food?
This can go two ways. Actually, three ways that things can change with food, especially after an injury. If it's an injury that makes the athlete completely, at bed rest or like immobile for a certain period of time, either you can see it, and it's again entirely dependent on their emotions.
Yeah.
So you can either see them underfueling because they're feeling a certain way. Like again, this ties into mood.
Yeah, or they're probably scared of just
they're scared of the weight gain that happens naturally because your activity is stopped, right? So you're moving from training like 8 to 10 hours a day to absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So that worry is always there. Second is your body changes when you're not working out for at that intensity. I think that also affects their mind space. So it can either be underfueling, overfueling, or nothing changes. So nothing changes comes from a space of that security where
acceptance,
acceptance that okay, this is happened, this is what I can do. But then again, it's not the easiest space to be in. It's very tough when injuries happen. So the underfueling and overfueling part we see a lot, and more often it's the overfueling.
I can imagine. It's also a very tough time for them, isn't it? Like they completely lose their identity, especially if it's for a few months, than a few weeks.
And you have a major tournament or something coming up.
That too, it could be life changing. Something like an Asian Games or like a Commonwealth, things like that. And yeah, I mean, it's also hard for them to understand that they could do it next time and they have another chance. So definitely I think that makes a big difference. So how do you think nutrition can support, not just tissue repair, but also, emotional regulation or emotional stability? Have you actually seen that happen?
I think when an athlete is injured, we look at it primarily from a healing perspective, because you want to do as much as you can to help or aid with the healing and rehab process, right? So that's one part of it. The second part of it is, again, food directly impacts your mood, right? What kind of food you eat and how much food you eat directly in a nutrient aspect does affect like your mood in general.
Absolutely.
So those are like physiological ways. Psychologically, I feel like, how do I put it? It can go both ways, but I feel like it can help bring about a sense of feel good. Right? Like when you eat well, when you're at home, you're feeling good. And that brings about emotional stability. Not directly as, if you eat this, you will be stable. But rather if there is a sense of routine where at least your food, you're eating well and you're eating to heal, then I feel like that brings about some amount of stability.
I think this is where, when a person is anxious in terms of locus of control, it's mostly that people look at the uncontrollable factor, right? And when an athlete is, of course, injured, more often than not, they are actually quite anxious, right? And I guess eating right or eating more or less to what they need to be eating probably puts them in a controllable factor, and that probably just reduces anxiety more than anything else.
Absolutely.
In that sense.
And I feel like if they're working with the professional should also be very cognizant of the fact that it's a tough space to be in.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So whether we're looking at ensuring that there's not too much of a weight gain that happens or too much of underfueling that happens, it's also a space for the professional to tell them that you're eating to heal versus
a weight gain,
or a weight loss or scaring them further.
I think that happens quite a bit as well, right? Definitely. Got it. What role do you think routine can actually play in maintaining, a sense of control? Actually, even if it's not control, maybe adherence.
I think in some sense it can help bring a sense of peace
Yeah.
to them, that okay, I have somebody I'm working with on my food and they're helping me build a routine so that I can get better faster. So in that aspect, I feel like it can make them feel a bit better about the space that they're in. But invariably, I think here the entire team plays a role. The way you speak around them, how you sort of motivate them to come out of that space is what brings about that sense of not control, but rather that space where they know that they're going to get better.
Like a safe space.
Like a safe space. Like the team around
space
you
of hope
creates,
in that sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, it's very, I think this is what people call serendipity, I'm not sure. But my next question was going to be that, how do you think, sports psychologists and sports nutritionists can actually co-regulate athletes when they're injured?
Again, I think it's not just these two professions, but it's the entire team working with the athlete. It helps to be in touch with them, understand where their headspace is at, how they're feeling currently, and empathize with the fact that we understand that this is a very tough space, but the team is here to help you, right?
Exactly.
And we are also going to do our best to get you back into shape, be it like the rehab procedure with the physio, or like a strengthening with an SNC, or whatever sessions a psychologist does, or a intervention that a nutritionist does, should be communicated to the athlete that we're all working towards your betterment also. So you should also be in a space where you're receptive to that intervention.
And want to feel better.
Exactly.
So,
that's important.
Absolutely. Yeah, superb. I think this covered quite a bit in terms of injury and recovery, right? I think next we're going to talk about building sustainable high performance through nutrition. But yes, thank you so much for listening, and thanks a lot for answering these questions with patience as well.